I wouldn't employ violence, but I will not speak against those who have elected to embrace it. I wouldn't take it, but I wouldn't speak against it, because it is actually quite unjust, iniquitous, and evil to speak against those who have elected to find one way or the other to engage with this system that seeks to imprison, to constrain, and to limit. So, if you find yourself minded to join the protests that are being called, please feel free to. There is nothing you do in pursuit of freedom that can be said to be wrong, as far as I'm concerned. So that's as far as protest and all that goes. Now, let me speak specifically to the subject of bloodless revolution. I have promoted, I'm not sure I'm the one who originated the thought, other people were speaking to it already, and we all decided that we'll spend the day cursing out Yakubu Mahmoud, the fraudulent chairman of INEC. Cursing him out is not the issue. It's just a way of getting you all to be sensitized. I need you all to come to the knowledge of the fact that your enemies are not the ones to point out who your true enemies are. We cannot, in good conscience, be serious about credible elections in Nigeria and still have a despicable rogue like Mahmoud Yakubu heading INEC. But it's just like I said, heading. Until we have a situation where the victims of Nigeria agree that their will must be expressed, and INEC as an organization, not just Mahmoud, the youth corpers they will use who will take money, the lecturers and professors who call themselves resident electoral commissioners and returning officers who are essentially crooks. There are a few exceptions, and we noted that in places like Abia, for instance, and I'm sure she's not the only person who was honest amongst the Rex or the returning officers. But as an organization, INEC is merely reflective of the Nigerian society, and just the same as our judiciary, our police, our custom, even our carpenters, tell ourselves the truth. The changes that we seek in Nigeria need to begin with us looking in the mirror, looking at ourselves, and committing to changing our ways. So, this morning, I don't have many questions to answer, or any for that matter. But I do need you to know that if you truly desire change in Nigeria, you must look to yourselves first. The change you seek begins with you. This is something you need to tell yourselves. In the absence of a commitment to change your ways, there is no way the society itself will change. We are the aggregate of what becomes a society. I agree that when the head is rotting, the fish is bad. We are generally ruled or ruined by evil, myopic idiots who have no understanding of nation building or cause and effect, seed time and harvest time, and how the conscious choices we make affect the future. Seed. There is something that is often said, that when purpose is unknown, abuse becomes inevitable. And that is the Nigerian situation. We have not merely or just decided to ignore what is important. It is because the state, and that's Nigeria I'm speaking to, has not been purposed to do anything good. It has no purpose. The country has been led by visionless men who have not been capable of envisioning a future to which they then annex the people. Go and look at Dubai today. It has better infrastructure compared to the Western world. Its rail system, its road infrastructure, the construction engineering, second to none. That was built on the back of vision. What does vision do? It constrains your mind. It directs your energy. It gives you the capacity to focus on what you have deemed important. That is the place of vision. But when vision is lacking, no matter how much resources you may have, human and material, what happens in the absence of vision is that perversion follows. That is the situation of the Nigerian. When purpose is unknown, abuse becomes inevitable. If I gave you a gun and you do not know what to do with the gun, because of the long barrel, you might think it is meant to turn gari or to even make amala. And you might be foolish enough, in spite of PhDs, to think that that gun is intended to pound yam. That is the abuse that will follow because purpose is unknown. We live in a country with fertile grounds. Our soils are fertile. We could plant everything and anything that we want to eat in our country. But what do you have? Hunger besieging our land, simply because purpose is unknown. We have majored in the minors and we have ignored all that is important. Now, this has not happened by accident. It has happened because we as a collective have ignored to define what is important to us. The government, in the absence of purpose, have pursued one white elephant project after the other. There was even a dotard, the very young man, the youngest person to ever become president of Nigeria, Yakubu Gowon. He once declared blithely that the only problem Nigeria has is doesn't know what to do with money. This was at a time when we didn't have a national grid. Up until now, we still don't have one, but even as at that time, purpose was unknown. We were busy hosting, Festac 77. He wasn't there by the time he was, but remember, it had been initiated long before he left. But his successors were pretty much the same. Barely literate men, devoid of vision, only focused on consumption. So we squandered a generation, the wealth of the generation, the human resource of the generation, and then the generations that followed. Squandered, because instead of pursuing vision, we pursued perversion. History shall record, and time will tell. But what is clear is that these people have not directed you to purpose. Religion has become a way of distracting you, taking your attention off what is important and focusing you on unimportant things, and you pursue perversion, trivialities in the place of purpose. What about the business class? Let's talk about them. So you build a business, you bind, you steal, you build it all up in a country that you have refused to build. You are building a country that your children cannot survive in. You are building businesses and wealth that cannot survive in the country that you have failed to build. What is the purpose of the wealth you have gathered when you have actually destroyed the country of your birth? The only place where your children would ever find any validation, because however rich you are only one generation removed from Floyd, the one that couldn't breathe any longer. That is what you are. He was American. You are a bloody Nigerian, quote and unquote. And then you go to their country, you think because you have money. Where is Ekweremadu today? If Ekweremadu had built or facilitated the construction of a good renal center in Nigeria, we can afford it. We have the money. We have the resources. We have the brains. You go abroad, these Nigerians you'll find working in all the places you are going to go for your health care. If you had built one and a society in which they could live, even if he are as iniquitous as he was, would he be in jail today? One by one. The point I am making to you is this: build this place. Focus on what is important. No matter how many limousines you buy, no matter how many Rolls Royce, no matter how many gold watches, no matter how many skyscrapers you build, if you do not build a place that is futuristic and visionary, your children shall become as vagabonds in the hell that you are continually building, no matter how rich you are. The youth, what are you building? In the absence of purpose, drug use, sexual depravity, all manner of madness have overtaken our country because we have failed to focus on building anything enduring. In the absence of purpose, abuse becomes inevitable. The Nigerian is abused and he is abusive. What are we building? Exactly what is it that we are building as a collective? It's easy to blame the government, and we should. But what about you as an individual? Exactly what are you building? Are you so focused on your existence in this plane, on this life that is fleeting? Where is Albert Wigwe today? He built a bank. There will be men who will come out to say he built them. But everything he built is gone. He is gone. We build believing that our children will inherit our substance. His son died with him. I do not rejoice in his death. I have no satisfaction of any sort. I am talking about it so that you understand what is important and focus on what is important. What is the vision governing Nigeria? What is the vision governing your own lives? Exactly what are you constraining your energy to pursue? What will be said that you are done with your life by the time you are gone? And yes, you will be gone one day, as would I. It is the way of the human to go. Question is, what are you building whilst you are here? What is the vision, or what are the visions that determines the choices that you are making in your life? The constant bickering. Oh, he's Igbo. Oh, he's Yoruba. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. He's PDP. He's Pupupu. He's APC. He's Labour. He's that. What does he bet? More and more divisions. And I speak specifically to the victims of Nigeria. If you do not find common purposes with yourself, if you allow the system to continue to divide you, you will remain prey in the hand of the system. You got it? As long as you allow the divisions, you will remain prey in the hands of this system. The destruction of public cohesion and the instability you see is because those who should constrain our energies, who should bring us together as one, are the same ones who have decided that we must be divided. In this division, they are strengthened. The pains of yesterday must serve to remind you of the lessons of yesterday, but it mustn't serve to affect your capacity to think in the moment. So yes, do not forget your history, but do not allow yourself to be so tied to the past that you cannot move into a future. What motivates you? Is it petty jealousy? Is it anger? Or is it purpose?